President Joe Biden's administration issued a targeted moratorium on evictions in the areas hardest hit. Now, to translate that, the new action bans evictions in counties with high rates of transmission for an additional 60 days, effectively extending this moratorium. This new targeted moratorium will cover most of the United States since most counties are really experiencing high rates of community transmission right now. President Biden said his hope is the new targeted action would in some way cover close to 90% of Americans who are renters. Even though Biden initially said that he wouldn't be able to do this due to the recent court decision, he said it's still worth a try at least. President Biden said he sought input from constitutional scholars to determine whether the CDC had the legal authority to issue a new eviction action, and what he found out was there are several key scholars who think that it may, and it's worth the effort. At the very least, pending litigation will probably give some additional time for rental assistance funds to flow. Basically, what he's saying is, even if it's technically not legally allowing him to do this, there would likely be some additional hang up in the court systems, at least buying renters a little bit more time. Regardless of the noise around it, this is still news to celebrate, and no one is celebrating more than our moratorium queen, House Representative Cori Bush. Now here's her latest tweet on the good news. On Friday night, I came to the Capitol with my chair. I refused to accept that Congress could leave for vacation while 11 million people faced eviction. For 5 days, we've been out here demanding that our government acts to save lives. Today, our movement moved mountains. That's right, you guys. As Representative Cori Bush refused to leave the Capitol steps until they did something about this. Here, she was pouring her heart out at the very beginning of this whole thing.
When you sleep outside on the ground, you are open and you are vulnerable to all the elements. However, whatever those elements are, it was cold last night and now it's super hot. We've still been here. I still have on the same clothes I had on last night. I'm dirty. I'm dirty, I'm sticky, I'm sweaty. I still have on what I had on last night. This is how people will have to live if we don't do something. 7 million people, 6 million, 11 million, how many ever it is, they deserve their human dignity, and they deserve for the people that are paid to represent them to show up and do the work to make sure that they have their basic needs met today.
And today, we just got that, as Bush said, it will be a win for the people who have, for such a long time, because I'm one of those people, felt like nobody listened. She added that she has not seen the language of the new moratorium. Our work is not done. This is a step, but the work isn't done. Now let's take a moment to appreciate that we still have heroes in Congress who are actually doing their job for the American people. This is a solid stimulus win in our daily news update, guys. And like I said, the work is not done. They still have to go through the language of the new moratorium and make sure it sticks until it says so. Bush also announced last week her proposal for the Unhoused Bill of Rights in Congress. Now, this particular bill proposes to permanently end the unhoused crisis by 2025. It also declares the unhoused crisis a public emergency, protect the fundamental civil and human rights of unhoused individuals, support historic funding levels, and develop holistic-based and non-carceral solutions to the unhoused crisis. Now let's look forward to more developments in our future update videos. I definitely recommend subscribing to the channel and ringing that notification bell, because we still have lots more stimulus checks, stimulus package related updates to come in the near future, so definitely stay tuned for that. Stock tip of the day, Robinhood stock finally just got its boost and is now trading at 24% increase. The stock was trading far below its starting IPO price of $38 per share until Tuesday, when the shares surged 24% thanks to the power of Reddit and some well-timed comments from Wall Street experts. Just take a look at the Reddit chatter for Robinhood. It beat out the other stocks by a long shot. That means that everyone's looking at Robinhood right now, including the experts from Wall Street. You may have heard of influential hedge fund manager Cathie Wood of ARK Invest. I did several videos in the past about Cathie Wood's stock predictions. She just added 1.85 million shares to her position in Robinhood. CNBC host Jim Cramer also gave Robinhood his blessing in a segment on Monday night. Here's a clip.
That's why I'm telling you that Robinhood can be bought here. That's right. I'm blessing the stock. If Square can rally 10% on this Afterpay deal, imagine what Robinhood could do if they acquired someone else in the industry. Think of Firm. The stock would soar. Now, I know some of these companies are more tangential to the point I'm making.
I'll just let you guys simmer on that one a while we move on to our stimulus news update. New York City officially just became the first major city to require proof at restaurants, gyms, and other businesses. This is coming straight from New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio. Now let's watch his announcement.
So today I announce a new approach, which we're calling the Key to NYC Pass. The key to New York City. When you hear those words, I want you to imagine the notion that because they can do all the amazing things that are available in this city. The Key to NYC Pass will be a first in the nation approach. This is going to be a requirement.
They're calling it the Key to New York City. It'll start on August 16th and be enforced starting September 13th. We're sharing this right now as we're probably going to see more of this soon. One other example is from Microsoft. The company just announced that starting in September, employees who have a medical condition or a protected reason such as religion, accommodation. The company has also pushed its full office reopening date from September to no earlier than October 4th, 2021. So I just want to reiterate here, they're actually pushing back the date that they're actually trying to call all of their employees back. So it is very clear that this new Delta variant and the fact that it's spreading so rapidly has caused businesses to re-strategize when they're pulling all their employees back in. What we're also seeing in all of this is the potential for more stimulus checks. And that's great news, isn't it? And we're not the only ones saying so. Fortune magazine just covered it. We haven't seen the last of stimulus checks. Their article points out that none of the other stimulus was more popular than the one-time $1,200 stimulus check. Even now, as the economy moves into a high growth phase, there are still calls for more stimulus checks. And if you've been watching our channel for a while, you know what we're talking about here. The change.org petition for $2,000 monthly stimulus checks has already collected more than 2.7 million signatures. We also have more than 80 lawmakers all calling or all asking for more stimulus checks. Now, here are some of the proposals. We've got House Resolution to End Poverty. This covers cash assistance programs, aka stimulus checks, minimum wage increase. Now, will it be the $15 per hour minimum wage? I don't know if it's necessarily going to be a $15 per hour minimum wage. More than likely, there's going to be some negotiations, probably realistically closer to maybe $11 to $12 per hour minimum wage increase, expanded unemployment insurance, canceling of all unpayable debt, affordable and public housing, free education. So really, this one's pretty much the motherlode of stimulus if any part or even the whole thing got passed. So the next stimulus program that they have on Congress's table is the Automatic Boost to Communities Act. Now, this one's just straight up stimulus checks. A $2,000 fourth stimulus check right out the gate, plus $1,000 monthly stimulus checks until 1 year after. These are both still on Congress's table. Either of these could pass. One, more parts of these packages could pass, but these are actively on Congress's table. The other one is Universal Basic Income, aka UBI. Now, this was from Representative Ilhan Omar. She promised a pilot program of Universal Basic Income, aka unconditional stimulus checks, within Congress. On top of that, 156 top economists also back more stimulus checks. Their open letter said, direct cash payments, also known as stimulus checks, right, are an essential tool that will boost economic security, drive consumer spending, hasten the recovery, and promote certainty at all levels of government and the economy for as long as necessary. Fortune magazine also showed the political consensus stimulus checks bring among voters. We also have to remember the 2 Georgia Senate runoff in January. I know it seems like a lifetime ago, but it was only about, 8 months back. Those decided control over the Senate, and it ultimately went to both Democratic candidates, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff, who both promised to make $2,000 stimulus checks a reality if they won. Political analysts also attribute the win to Republican senators blocking the $2,000 checks in January. Essentially, what a lot of people are saying is that the fact that the Republicans did not pass $2,000 stimulus checks when former President Trump was still in office, this potentially caused the Republicans to lose power in Congress. This may have even cost former President Trump his re-election. Now, all of this has got me thinking that Democrats will probably want to bring back more stimulus checks if they want to be able to continue with their